Good morning everyone. In response to my video in which I featured Resynthesizer and Tag Image Synth, I was asked what it sounds like to throw vocal or vocoder samples at the plugin. With this plugin probably means Resynthesizer, because Resynthesizer has sample import features, while Tag Image Synth has image import features, which is also really cool. So I prepared a little test project here with these vocals. Resynthesize your mind, decompose your thought, defragment your knowledge, rearrange emotions. Okay, and I made some alternative versions of that as well. Resynthesize your mind, decompose your thought, defragment your knowledge, rearrange emotions. So here is a bitspeak version, and now there's also a pitch map version. Resynthesize your mind, decompose your thought, defragment your knowledge, rearrange emotions. Now I will bounce all of them and rearrange them so that I have a single source track. Now let's throw the dry vocals in here. The plugin can import long samples. What does this sound like? I mean, that's pretty cool too. But let's actually go on with the mission we are on. Alright, now I got the samples here. Resynthesize your mind. And bitspeak. So as we have seen a little bit earlier, when the sample gets too long, then the plugin asks you if you want to only use a subset of the sample. But this one was not considered too long for the plugin, apparently, because this prompt didn't pop up. Now we can try to let that play the same melody. What would that sound like? Resynthesize, 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 resynthesize. Resynthesize. Okay, cool. That already sounds pretty much almost the same as like what the rhythm was like in the original audio file, but it gives me a sound that is somewhere between these two sounds, and it follows the melody correctly. The only problem is it resets its phase and starts the sample playback from scratch when there is a new note. So one thing that you can do in a lot of synthesizers to prevent that from happening is to let notes overlap and choose some sort of legato setting. So I will soon search for one of them once I have the notes. Okay, that looks good. So one note that is starting, and from there on just legatoing through the different notes, so that there is a good reason for not resetting if there is a legato mode. So let's see. There is definitely glide. Does that imply legato? Resynthesize your resynthesize your resynthesize your resynthesize. It unfortunately does not imply that it's legato. This plugin, its strength is not that it has a lot of good features. It's missing a bunch of features at this point that usually are in plugins, like a list of parameters. These things are not registered as parameters. It has no mono legato mode for doing things like this. And yeah, I think that is definitely something that will make this plugin a little bit harder to use than it could be. But I still want to find out if I can somehow use the entire sample. In order to do that, I would have to find a note that I can play throughout the whole thing, and it will not be annoying that it's always the same note. Resynthesize your mind, decompose your thought. Resynthesize your mind, decompose your thought, defragment your. Resynthesize your mind, decompose your thought, defragment your knowledge. Resynthesize your mind, decompose your thought, defragment your knowledge, rearrange emotion. Resynthesize your mind, resynthesize, resynthesize your mind. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it would make sense to just bounce out multiple notes from here and then do it with traditional sample slicing techniques. It's definitely not easy. So let's rather focus on the possibilities to mangle the sound for now on just this single note, because that's what we came for, right? Resynthesize your mind, decompose your thought, defragment your knowledge, rearrange emotions. Resynthesize your mind, decompose your thought,
defragment your knowledge, rearrange emotions, resynthesize your mind, decompose your thought, defragment your knowledge, rearrange emotions, resynthesize your mind, decompose your thought, defragment your knowledge, rearrange emotions.
Now this is a great example for why these parameters should definitely be automatable. Imagine dialing in dissonance on some vocals to get some emphasis on the words. That's just so nice.
Resynthesize your mind, decompose your thought, defragment your knowledge, rearrange emotions.
Interesting, in my last video it only found a few harmonics, like 12 or something, and now I'm suddenly at 64, so apparently the amount of harmonics that are available on the knob depend on the input sample, and because I only took some like very soft melodic sounds, it just didn't find a lot of harmonics, but now it does, and it reveals the true maximum number of harmonics, 64.
Resynthesize your mind, decompose your thought, defragment your knowledge, rearrange emotions. Resynthesize your mind, decompose your thought, defragment your knowledge, rearrange emotions. Resynthesize your mind, decompose your thought, defragment your knowledge, rearrange emotions. Resynthesize your mind, decompose your thought, defragment your knowledge, rearrange emotions. Resynthesize your mind, decompose your thought, defragment your knowledge, rearrange emotions. Resynthesize your mind, decompose your thought, defragment your knowledge, rearrange emotions. Resynthesize your mind, decompose your thought, defragment your knowledge, rearrange emotions. Resynthesize your mind, decompose your thought, defragment your knowledge, rearrange emotions. Resynthesize your mind, decompose your thought, defragment your knowledge, rearrange emotions. Resynthesize your mind, decompose your thought, defragment your knowledge, rearrange emotions. Resynthesize your mind, decompose your thought, defragment your knowledge, rearrange emotions. Resynthesize your mind, decompose your thought, defragment your knowledge, rearrange emotions. Resynthesize your mind, decompose your thought, defragment your knowledge, rearrange emotions. Resynthesize your mind, decompose your thought, defragment your knowledge, rearrange emotions. Resynthesize your mind, decompose your thought, defragment your knowledge, rearrange emotions. Resynthesize your mind, decompose your thought, defragment your knowledge, rearrange emotions. Resynthesize your mind, decompose your thought, defragment your knowledge, rearrange emotions. Resynthesize your mind, decompose your thought, defragment your knowledge, rearrange emotions.
I think what I'm doing right now would be a little bit overkill for my current beat. It sounds very cyberpunky and not.
Resynthesize your mind, decompose your thought, defragment your knowledge, rearrange emotions.
Well, I mean, it is kind of cool. Maybe I can layer with some other stuff later. Yep, that is what you can do with vocal samples and Resynthesizer. I hope they still post-release add the ability to tweak parameters and to play this in legato, because that would make it even more comfortable for vocal samples and stuff. But you can definitely just throw some sequence at it, can even be rhythmic, and just find a completely new sound character and then bounce that out.